Hi guys, welcome back to Unsolved with Barb. Today I want to go over the case of the Ethan Crumbley Oxford High School shooting. So grab your coffee, your drink, or whatever you're going to drink, or smokes, whatever, grab a seat, and let's start to dig in. Okay, so on November 30th, Ethan Crumbley opened fire on students at his school, Oxford High in Michigan. Ethan is believed to have killed 4 students, injured 6, and a teacher before the shooting was over. Ethan surrendered to the police. Sorry if you hear the rustling, that's just my papers. His parents now have been charged after police and prosecutors learned that they were aware of concerns with Ethan regarding written threats of gun violence and had discovered a gun missing from their home. Okay, so we're going to show a quick little video here. Just going to find the right one. This one here. Make sure I'm screen. Yeah, okay. All right.
We had over 100 911 calls into our dispatch center of an active shooter at Oxford High School. Deputies responded within 5 minutes, had the suspect in custody. He did not cause any problems. He gave the weapon up. He did have the weapon on him at the time. It was a semi-automatic handgun. He fired multiple shots.
So obviously, we're here for the worst kind of tragedy we've seen across the country, and we hoped and prayed it would never come to Oakland County, but it has. It's visited itself on our community, and certainly the first thoughts are prayers for the families and loved ones and friends that have been impacted by this unspeakable and unforgivable event.
It's just obviously a deeply dark day in Michigan's history. The trend that we've seen all over the country has come to us. We had all hoped that it would not.
Tragedies like this rip away at our security, and a security and a peace that should be rightfully ours in a place like a school.
My heart goes out to the families. This is an unimaginable tragedy. I hope that we can all rise to the occasion and wrap our arms around the families, the affected children and school personnel, and this community. It is an unimaginable tragedy, and I just wanted to be here because I think this is an important moment for us to support one another, to support this community, and I want to thank our first responders again.
Madison, Justin, Tate, and Han.
So this touches us all personally and deeply, and will for a long time. This wound will never go away. We understand that, but we also want the community to know that we're here for them.
Today and the coming weeks and months, we will show up for them in any and every way that we can. We will commit to pray, to teaching and being an example of compassion as we raise our children. We will rise to the occasion and stand with them in their time of grief.
Okay, so that was the little clip. Let me just get out of this. Excuse me.
Well, I was at work in Highland Park, and I got a text from my son.
We'll go back to you later if we need to. All right. Okay, so what we know so far is that Ethan was seen on security camera in his school walking out of a bathroom with a gun in his hand. He shot and killed 4 students. He injured 6 others, including a teacher. He then surrendered to police. Now, Ethan is being charged as an adult. The twist is, there's a little bit of a twist to this story. The parents have also been charged and have been in. Okay, so the parents have been charged and had a very short, very brief stint on the run. Excuse me, guys, sorry. They each have been charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this story today. It kind of gave you the lowdown on what happened and with the video. So now I want to kind of give you a timeline that the prosecutor used when James and Jennifer were arrested. So on Friday, November 26th, which is Black Friday, James Crumbley bought a 9mm semi-automatic pistol at a store in Oxford, Michigan. And at the time, his son, Ethan, was present with him when the gun was purchased. On or around that day, Ethan posted a photo on his social media of the gun with the caption, "Just got my new beauty today." And then it says the name of the gun, which I cannot pronounce. Apparently, this gun was purchased for Ethan for Christmas. It was an early Christmas gift. Jennifer posted on her social media around the 27th of November, and it said, "Mom and Son Day, testing out his new Xmas present, or Christmas present." And they were shooting. They were out, and they went out shooting that day. I'm just going to, hang on a second, 1 minute, guys, sorry. Sorry, I had a cough, but I didn't want to do it online. Okay, so the day before the shooting, on November 29th, a teacher at Ethan's school sees him searching for ammunition on his phone. This made the teacher very nervous and very concerned. So the teacher calls Ethan's mom, Jennifer, left her a voicemail, but the mom did not respond back to her. So the school sent an email to Ethan's parents, and they did not reply to those either. Later on, Jen and Ethan had a text exchange where the mom says, "LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught." So I guess that was regarding me searching for ammunition on his phone, I'm assuming. So on the day of the shooting, November 30th, one of Ethan's teachers came across a note that made her very concerned. She actually took a picture of it on her phone, and the note was a drawing of a semi-automatic handgun. It was pointing at the words, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me." It also included the drawing of a bullet with the words, "Blood everywhere," above it. So obviously, Ethan has some issues that his parents are not addressing. That's my opinion. Anyhow, okay, so according to the prosecutor, between the drawings of the gun and the bullet is the drawing of a person who appears to have been shot twice and bleeding. So there's more to this drawing, is what I'm trying to say. So we got the gun and the bullet and a picture of a person who appears to have been shot twice and bleeding. And below that figure of it in the drawing is a laughing emoji. Apparently, the note also said, "My life is useless. The world is dead." So, as one would do, the school called Ethan's parents right away and called them in to talk to them about what was going on with Ethan and etc. So now, for 2 days in a row, the teachers have made making the gun-related concerns regarding Ethan to the school office. So Ethan ends up in the office with his backpack, which was never apparently searched. Okay, so he's in the office with his backpack. His mom and dad and the school principal, I'm assuming, and maybe another person, I'm not too sure who was all in that meeting. He also altered the drawing. At this point, as he scribbled out a bunch of it out so that he wouldn't get in trouble. But the teacher already had a picture of the drawing on her phone. The school shows James and Jennifer the drawings and says, "You have to get counseling for him within the next 48 hours. Now, I did hear someone say about 24 hours. So that time it's anywhere between 24 and 48 hours that they were told to get their son some help that he needed. Do you think the parents got him help? I don't think they did. The parents didn't ask him if he had a gun, and they didn't even look at his knapsack or his backpack. The parents, Jennifer and James, also resisted the idea of taking Ethan home from school that day. Now, had they taken him home, like the school had wanted, this may never have happened. All right. So now James and Jennifer had left Ethan at school, and he went back to his classroom. The school kind of wanted him to go home. They said, "Something's going on with him. We want you to take him and get some help." And the parents didn't do that. So all they had to, I know here in Canada, and I had to do it with my own children, to get them the help that they needed, you take them to the emergency room. And that was the fastest way that I could get my daughter help for when she was having issues, suicidal issues. So I took my daughter to the hospital. I said, we went in, they asked us what we're there for. We tell them blah, 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 blah. They send us in the back. The doctor comes in and assesses her and then, talks to her and blah, 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 blah. then the doctor asked me, we can release her in your care, or we can keep her here and transfer her down to the children's ward, which was in another city. So that's what we did. She didn't feel safe at home. Well, she felt safe at home, but she didn't feel safe against herself. So we ended up taking her by ambulance to the other city, to the children's unit for some help. So anyhow, enough of her. She's growing up now, adult, so she's good. Okay, so just before 1 p.m. on November 30th is when the school surveillance cameras show Ethan with a backpack going into the bathroom. He comes out of the bathroom without a backpack, but holding a gun in his hand. Ethan starts firing outside the bathroom, walking down the hall, shooting inside classrooms and at students. At 1:22 p.m., Jennifer texted her son, Ethan, and says, Ethan, don't do it. So there must have been a communication prior. I'm not too sure of what if there was. So apparently Ethan had already surrendered to the police by the time she had sent that text. But she knew it was him as soon as she heard there was a shooting at the school. She knew it was her son that had been the shooter. At 1:37 p.m., James, his dad, calls 911. Says a gun is missing from his house, and he's believed his son may be the active shooter at Oxford High. Yeah. Okay, so the gun was stored in an unlocked drawer in the parents' bedroom. So that's the timeline of the school shooting itself. So from we got one just before 1 p.m. and then we got 1:22 p.m. and then we have 1:37 p.m. By that time, Ethan's already arrested. So the victims were 17-year-old Madison Baldwin, 14-year-old Hannah St. Juliana, 16-year-old Tate Myers, and 17-year-old Justin Schilling. And he passed away the day after the shooting from his injuries, Justin. So this is a very concerning situation. Now, what did the parents know beforehand? What did they know about their son before this happened? Did he talk to his parents about what was going on? That he was having feelings about wanting to kill somebody? Why didn't they, when they were at the school meeting, why didn't they get him help? Why didn't they take him to the hospital and get him that help? This would have never happened if they had just taken him home the day of the shooting, when the school had asked them to take him home and to get him help. Why couldn't the parents do that? Why? Instead, they said, oh, no, he's fine. We're just going to leave him here, and we're going to let him shoot up the place. I don't know. Why, okay, I'm in Canada. We don't have gun laws. We don't have the right to bear arms here, I don't think. I don't like guns. I never have, I'm not a gun person. Why were they allowing Ethan, who was clearly struggling with something, to have access to a gun. Now, I don't get it. I just don't. These are all the questions, and so for that reason, the prosecutor orders a warrant for the arrest of James and Jennifer Crumbley. The prosecutor orders a warrant for the parents, James and Jennifer Crumbley. Unprecedented. But it should be like that in all situations, especially school situations when there's a school shooter. No, the parents shouldn't be held for his actions, but they should be held for the actions that they did not take to get their son help when they knew he needed the help, in my opinion. Now, let me see what else we have here. Just give me a quick second. There was another video I wanted to show. Actually, there's a few of them. So this one is, I guess, a gentleman received a text from his son and his son was inside the school. So we'll listen to this. It's only about a minute and a bit. And okay, we won't watch it, but we'll just listen to it. Is that okay with you guys?
Saying that there was a shooter in the school and he was...
Oh, hang on. Maybe we will show it because it does show the phone text. So just give me a minute and we'll share the screen. All right. So this is the text.
Safe and in a room.
Here, I'll back it up just a little bit.
Park, and I got a text from my son saying that there was a shooter in the school and he was safe and in a room, but he couldn't get in touch with his brother. And I panicked. My heart was in my throat. I just hollered at the guys at work that I had to leave, and I grabbed my stuff and took off and headed north towards Oxford. Got up there as quick as I could. I had heard from my other son eventually, and before I got up to Oxford, he called me and said that they were evacuating and they were going to be putting on buses and taking them off the campus to the Meijer store around the corner. So I just headed up to the Meijer to wait for them to come out. It's probably the most terrifying 45 minutes of my life. Actually, it was about almost 2 hours from when I got, or an hour and 3/4 maybe, from when I got the first text to when I actually got them, when they came out of the store. And as soon as they came out, I just grabbed them both and hugged them and got them to the car, and then we drove to the middle school to pick up their little brother. And came here, and that was it. It was a whirlwind of an afternoon, but I was just grateful to have my kids.
Wow. I couldn't imagine any parent going through that. Like, be so...
We want to focus on the young lives that were cut to.
Sorry, guys. Let me just stop that. Oh, okay. Now...
I was at work in Highland Park, and I got a text from my son.
Sorry, let me just close that out. Okay, so usually prosecutors will let the sheriff's office know they're issuing warrants to the parents or suspects in this parents in this case. And then, so they're usually you're arrested and then a press conference. But that did not happen in this case. In this case, it kind of went backwards. It went from the prosecuting attorney on Friday morning held a press conference and announced that they were charging the Crumbleys with 4 counts each of involuntary manslaughter. The sheriff's office had no clue this was going to be happening. And they did not have the parents in custody at that time. So when the police went to pick them up, that's when they discovered that they were gone. The Crumbleys' attorney claimed that they had reached out to the prosecutor and let them know that the Crumbleys will be bringing themselves in. The prosecutor, sorry, I can't read my own writing. Okay, the prosecutor said, "You never sent us a text. You never followed up on that day." And then come Friday morning, we hear that you have Crumbleys are being charged. So even the lawyers didn't know that the parents were being charged, if that makes sense. And then we hear that the Crumbleys are on the lam. They're on the run. Where did they run to? Well, let me tell you where they ran to. Okay, so when we hear the interview with the sheriffs, who is pretty pissed off at the prosecutor, this isn't how the things are supposed to be done, but she's new, so we're still working out our system. By late afternoon, the marshals were called in to join the search, and there was a $10,000 reward issued for bringing them in, or the whereabouts of them. At some point that day, Ali, law enforcement, discovered that they had pulled out $4,000 out of their bank account, and that they were in Detroit. The Crumbley's lawyers releasing statements that our clients are prepared to turn themselves in. They left their area for their own safety, and they are on their way back. And they had given several times that they would turn themselves in, but never did. Now, you can go to any police station in any city, anywhere, any town, any city, to turn yourself in. So, okay. On Friday, there was supposed to be an arraignment at 4 o'clock that came and went, and that the attorneys did not show up for either. So the Crumbley's lawyers did not show up. The attorneys claimed later that they did not know about the arraignment, but it was all over the press, so I'm not sure how they did not know that there was going to be an arraignment. It's all over the news. Now they're saying, Crumbley's lawyers are saying they should have been notified from the court. Both attorneys for the Crumbleys were working on other cases. One was actually in circuit court doing something, and the other one was flying in from Florida, I do believe. So they were working other cases that day, weren't told about the arraignment. Not that that's an excuse for the parents, but. So the parents are on the run, haven't turned themselves in. So Friday night into Saturday morning, a business owner saw Jennifer standing outside next to her 2021 Kia car. She said she was wearing dark clothes and was acting suspicious, so she called the police. And this was in Detroit, remember. Okay, so they find the Crumbleys in a big warehouse building that has an artist studio inside of it. But the studio turns out to belong to a friend of theirs, hence why they were there. Now, I might screw up his name, and I'm sorry in advance. His name is Andreas Jagsakura. I don't know how you, yeah. He did not know he did know what was going on with their son, but he says he did not know that the parents had been charged. And he had no idea that they stayed in the building after he had left for the day. Now, he hasn't been charged right now, but there is possible charges that are going around, there's talk going around that he could be possibly charged with aiding and abetting them. But I don't think he was intentionally assisting them. I don't think, like he said, he didn't know that they were charged as well. So on 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, the marshals did find them in the studio and took them in. So on Saturday morning, by 8 or 9, they were being arraigned. It was like quick. You're not getting away this time again. Now, I do have a video clip of the parents being arrested. Let me just find it. So just give me a quick second while I look. Fugger, where the hell did it go? Give me a minute and don't mind my noisy God, I have my brain fart here. Mouse, there we go. Okay, let me look at. I can't find. Thought I had it pinned, but I guess it don't now. Crumbley's. I hope everybody's having a good Monday. We had lots of snow yesterday, and then a bit freezing rain, and then this morning it's like mild out and everything's melty, but it's damp, very damp. It just sinks into your bones, and I can't handle that. All right. Yes, it was from CNN, I do believe. Oh, come on. Just give me a minute for this video to kick in. All right. Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me just share my screen with you again. Okay. I'm hoping it loads. It doesn't.
What a day for our alma mater. The first ever Lecture from Mars.
We discovered that Canadian University alumni can save a bundle on home and auto insurance. It's incredible bundled savings for alumni.
Take a moment, save a bundle. Visit Sonic.ca.
To begin with breaking news this morning, Jennifer and James Crumbley, the parents of the Michigan high school shooting suspect, are in police custody right now. This was after the pair evaded authorities for hours after they were charged with involuntary manslaughter yesterday. Police say they were found early this morning inside a building in Detroit, not far from where their vehicle was found. Listen to this.
We got a tip that they were here, or that possibly the fugitives were at this location. The vehicle was spotted. Our officers responded in a matter of minutes. When they got here, they set up a perimeter, did surveillance. We notified and activated our Metro Division, our special response team. They came out and they were able to take the fugitives into custody.
Now, attorneys representing the couple say they fled the area because they, quote, feared for their safety. This is following Tuesday's shooting where 4 students were killed and 7 others were injured. And we should note, this is rare. The parents of school shooters rarely face charges, but here's the prosecutor in the case explaining why they've been filed.
I couldn't even imagine not holding those 2 people responsible. They bought a weapon for their son and had every reason to believe, at least the day before and certainly the morning of, that he was very likely going to commit a violent act. And they did nothing. They did nothing. They allowed him to go back to class and walked out of that building and never once thought or cared enough to say to a school official or anyone else, our son has a gun.
Okay. So, let me just pause this next one. Now, this is the prosecutor talking about the text messages sent by the suspect's mom. I don't know what. There we go. Probably get another ad.
The investigation into the school shooting incident at Oxford High School,
Good news!
which occurred
You can finally travel farther than your backyard barbecue. Order US dollars right from your phone, just like you order your burger. No order fees, great exchange rates, free delivery. Get $10 cash back with your first order using promo code SimplyCash.
Sorry,
November
guys.
30th, 2021. The investigation into the school shooting incident at Oxford High School, which occurred on November 30th, 2021, has revealed that James Crumbley purchased a Sig Sauer 9mm model SP 2022 from Acme Shooting Goods in Oxford, Michigan on November 26, 2021. A store employee confirms that Ethan Crumbley was present with James at the time of the purchase. Per statute, James Crumbley completed ATF Form 309A, 5309A. On or about November 26, 21, Ethan Crumbley's social media posts reveal photos of the semi-automatic handgun, along with the caption, "Just got my new beauty today," including an emoji with hearts. Sig Sauer 9mm. Any questions I will answer, end quote. Subsequent to the purchase of that weapon, one of Jennifer Crumbley's social media posts on about 11/27/21 read, quote, "Mom and Sunday testing out his new Christmas present," end quote. On November 21st, 21, a teacher at the Oxford High School observed Ethan Crumbley searching ammunition on his cell phone during class and reported the same to school officials. Jennifer Crumbley was contacted via voicemail by school personnel regarding that son's inappropriate internet search. School personnel indicate they followed that voicemail up with an email but received no response from either parent. Thereafter, Jennifer Crumbley exchanged text messages about the incident.
Okay, so we already knew all that. Let me just get back to StreamYards here. We'll just stop the screen for a second. Okay, so now we're in court. This is what happened in court when they were being arraigned. Both parents pled not guilty on 4 counts each of involuntary manslaughter. The prosecutor was asking for $500,000 each and no percentage of cash bond. So basically, they don't want them to bond out. But they were mentioning something about ankle monitor or whatever, and releasing all, like they had to give up their guns. They can't do they'll be tested regularly for drugs and alcohol. But they didn't ask for their passport. But I'm assuming that, they would turn that over eventually because them being a flight risk. Now, the Crumbley's lawyers say that they're not a flight risk. Well, you left your house because you said you were in fear of your safety. I can understand that. I can. However, they were basically where they were found in Michigan. They were like 1 mile from the Canadian border. Okay, we're going to get to that. So just give me a minute on that one. Okay. So, so each of the parents are being charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. And their lawyer, the Crumbley's lawyer, only wanted $50K or $100K per parent. But it is at a $500,000 each, and no cash bond, no percent cash bond. Whatever I think that means, they can't bond out. Ethan is being tried as an adult for first-degree murder in 4 counts, plus other charges of terrorism. Now, back to the Canadian border part here. Apparently, there was a TikTok. It has now been deleted. The parents allegedly tried to enter Canada, but were denied due to not having the COVID vaccine, not being vaccinated. And you can't come into Canada without having any of that, without being vaccinated. And remember, they weren't going to turn themselves in. These parents were going to go on the run. They withdrew $4,000. They tried to cross the Canadian border to come into Canada, but were denied. Those parents were on the run. They were going to leave their son and let him face the consequences on his own. I don't know. All I know is this is an unprecedented, where the alleged shooter's parents are being charged. And in this case, I think they should be charged. I 1000% believe that these parents should be charged and should serve jail time. Now, Jennifer's had a criminal past, Ethan's mom, but we'll get into that in a minute. The parents allowed Ethan access to that gun and probably many others, like other guns. The gun wasn't even locked up. It was in the parents' drawer. The parents even saw evidence of Ethan talking about using that gun to harm other people, and they did nothing. They didn't care. They didn't take him home. They didn't want to deal with it, basically. And this is my opinion, okay? The school did what they could by reporting it to the parents and having them come in for a meeting and asking them to get him help, and, like what every school should do in that situation when they come across a situation that they had. Clearly, his mom knew something was up when she told him, "Don't do it." LOL. Well, actually, there's two texts. My bad. So one text was said, she sent him, "Don't do it." The other text, which was the first text, actually, I'm assuming, when he was looking at the ammunition was, "LOL, I'm not mad. You just need to learn not to get caught." That statement right there is going to come bite her in the ass during court. That clearly, in my mind, states she knew her son was having issues with something going on in his head that he wanted to harm people. Just my opinion. Now, a little bit about Jennifer here. Back in 2016, she wrote an open letter to Trump, something about this, stating something about the Second Amendment to carry, and that she was glad that she was able to carry because back then she was a realtor, and when she had to do a house showing, she would carry her piece with her in case something ever happened. I'm all for that. I'm all, here in Canada, we're not allowed to carry guns around out in open, we can go hunting, but we can't carry a weapon with us when we go to the grocery store. You know how tempting that would be to some people to be able to do that? To carry a weapon, go to Walmart, get into a big lineup, and you're getting frustrated because of the crowds, and it's hot, and it's loud, you got a headache, and people are bugging you, and you're just going to snap, and you got that gun on you. Oh, well, hey. See, we don't allow that in Canada. Thank God. Anyhow. So she was a realtor. I don't think she is now. And she also, in her past, had charges in Florida for passing bad checks and having a DUI. Now, all Ethan's and Jennifer's and James, all of their social media has been deleted, and I'm assuming it was deleted by the parents. Now, James, I didn't see too much any records really relating to him in his past. I was trying to find that phone call from the ex, but I'll see if I can find it when we're done with this little piece here. So apparently, so James is 45. Apparently, he had a heart attack back in 2016 or something like that. It was mentioned in the letter from Jennifer to Trump about how her husband was disabled at the time. I have no idea why she would even mention that, but anyhow. So James, he worked, right now, he works as an account executive at an office supply company, or I should say he did. And previously he worked at as a business development executive. He has two other children by two different moms. And one of the moms was, let me see if I can find it and we'll play it. The voice recording of a deadbeat she thought he was. Her son is 18. So let me just see if I can. Sorry. Oh, what's this? So this title, it says, Ethan Crumbley's chilling journal seized. Parents are scrutinized. Let me see if this has anything. Okay, so this is just this is from the Daily Beast, Crime and Justice. It says, chilling videos, journals found as parents face scrutiny in Michigan school shooting. It says, Ethan, 15, had displayed behavior in his classroom that the school officials felt it was concerning. Well, yeah. It goes on to say, detailed description of a wish to massacre classmates on his cell phone and in a journal. At least one social media post pointing to elation at access to a handgun bought by his dad. A mom who thanked Trump for my right to bear arms, and a meeting between his parents and the school administrators about his conduct just hours before the attack. So Crumbley is a sophomore. He was previously flagged by administrators for behavior in the classroom that was felt concerning. Oakland County Sheriff's Mike Bouchard said Wednesday he was called in to talk to school officials on Monday and Tuesday. Then his parents were brought into the school the morning of the shooting for a face-to-face meeting about their son's behavior. He wouldn't say what the behavior was, and the police weren't informed about any potential issues prior to the tragic event. A boy that was in grade 10, I'm not going to say his name. It is published, but I'm not going to say his name. A 10th grader who was in some middle school classes with Crumbley told the Daily Beast that he was a really quiet and he would never talk to people. He wore all black, and he says, I believe he was really into hunting. I really want to find okay, here's this part here. So Crumbley's half brother, and his name is Eli, I'll say his name, spoke to the Daily Mail, describing his younger sibling as being happy and average kid who loved the game of Minecraft and wanted to be an archaeologist. The two moved together from Florida to Michigan. Now, Eli lives with his mom, of course. And, right. So he says, it's still hard to believe the Ethan I knew was just a smart boy who seemed like an average kid. There was nothing ever stood out to me. He never got suspended from school or detention. Eli's 18, said, adding that he had no idea about Ethan's possible motive. It says, Bouchard, who is the officer, said footage showed Crumbley walking out of the bathroom on Tuesday afternoon before opening fire on victims randomly and at close range. Witnesses said he was tugging on doors. He said, we know from visible evidence he shot through doors. Crumbley surrendered about 5 minutes after the attack and handed over a semi-automatic handgun purchased by his father just 4 days ago, Oakland County Undersheriff Mike McCabe said. Okay, Okay, what's this here say? Oh, this is the open letter that Jennifer Ethan's mom had wrote to President Trump back in 2016. She just says, I actually love that you're a bad public speaker because that showed sincerity and humility, she wrote. She goes on to talk about stuff I don't really care to talk about. She mentions about being a female realtor and thanking Trump for allowing her to right to bear arms. She also complained about parents. Daisy, hush. Day. Stop it. Daisy Duke. Stop. Okay, so she also complained about parents at other schools where the kids come from illegal immigrant parents and don't care about learning. She wrote that about other people in this letter to Trump. Okay. What else we got here? As the shooting left the community reeling, some restaurants closed in the aftermath to give employees time to collect themselves. Okay. I still want to find that video. Let me look at the phone call. We'll play the phone call, the one about the ex, James's ex. Talking about, okay, let me spell it right here. Crumbley. Oh, okay. Okay, so this says James Crumbley X. It says, okay, let me review it first. This isn't the one I originally seen. So just give me a minute. Look at all these. So I was hoping I'd have more in chat to have a discussion. But this isn't going to load right now. God dang it. Oh, come on. So the ex is Michelle Cobb. She's the ex-boyfriend and the father of her 18-year-old son. It's not pulling up, but it does have a readable one. She says, this is Michelle Cobb speaking, he's a piece of shit. He really is, Cobb told 7 Action News. Cobb and Crumbley left their son and daughter. Okay, Cobb said Crumbley left their son and daughter he had with another woman in Florida when he moved out of state with Jennifer Crumbley. Cobb said the issues were not the relationship between the adults because she and the mother of Crumbley's now 24-year-old daughter chose to have a relationship for the sake of the children. But Cobb says James and Jennifer always look for ways to criticize and complain about her because they hated that they had to pay child support for his son Eli. If I can find the link to the post, I will put it in the thing, but this is not. Oh, maybe now it's going to load. Oh, could be because I have too many. Oh. All right, let me see if I can find another one then. This one's not going to load for me. Oh. Well, this is from the New York Post. Let me see if that will play it. Why everything's running slow all of a sudden? I closed most of my pages out, so nothing is. Oh, there we go. Now we're going to load. Okay. Nope. Now what is this? Oh, this is just a 36-second. This is not it. Oh, you know what this is? Somebody walking down the street. That's all I see. Okay. Let's close that out. It's popping up now all of a sudden. All right, guys. Well, I think that's all I have for right now. I still have questions. I'd like to know if you can leave me a comment and give me your opinion. My opinion right now is yes, Ethan will be charged as an adult and will probably spend the rest of his life in jail. And I believe the parents should be held accountable because they didn't give nor did they care enough to get their son the help that they obviously knew that he needed. And I just pray for those families that were affected and the students that were affected that they can get through this. And yeah, I know. Thank you, Gary. But you see, people do come up and they rewatch it. You know that, right? So you can take your trolling ass somewhere else if that's what you want to do. Or you can replay this and watch, maybe learn something. Goddamn rude people, I tell ya. Anyhow, we are ending this session. Thank you for being here with me. And for those who will watch this, I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you guys have a great day. And please stay safe.